Mexican President Andrés Manuel López Obrador confirmed the kidnapping of at least 14 police officers in Chiapas. More than 30 people were arrested in France during days of protests in Nigerian following the murder of a man by a security officer. Nigerian Muslims celebrate in Lagos Eid Al-Adha, the largest holiday in Islam. Hello, welcome to From the South. I'm Amala Marrero from the teleSUR headquarters in Caracas, Venezuela. We'll begin with the news. Stay with us. Mexican President Andrés Manuel López Obrador confirmed the kidnapping of at least 14 police officers in Ocosucuautla, Chiapas, in the southeast of the country. In his morning press conference, the president detailed that the kidnapped persons are workers of the Ocosucuautla prison. López Obrador also stressed that neither in these nor in other cases will there be impunity. Regarding the possible causes of the kidnapping, the president announced that according to the first investigation, it is a confrontation between criminal groups.
They are prison workers from Ocosocuautla who were detained, kidnapped. As we were saying, the instruction is to rescue alive those who were kidnapped. The message to the criminals is that there will be no impunity. They shouldn't think it will be like before.
In Mexico, more than 1,000 hectares in various municipalities of Hidalgo have been damaged by over 100 forest fires recorded so far in 2023. According to Mexico's National Forestry Commission, the state currently faces several threats, such as illegal logging, agricultural expansion, and smokers as the possible causes of the forest fires that broke out so far this year. Other possibilities caused are livestock activities, wasted burning hunters, and bonfires. The government of Colombia, on the third day of the Council of Ministers in Las Guajiras, delivered land to members of the Kugi people and peace signatures native to the region. The National Lion Agency, ANT, expands the Kugi Malaya reservations, handing over 3 plots of land totaling more than 480 hectares and nearly 3,000 square meters in the municipality of Dibula. The office also awarded more than 190 hectares of land to a group of peace signatures in the municipality of Fonseca. The violence recorded in recent months in Ecuador is forcing the authorities to assess the risk of the electoral process that will take place in August. For these reasons, 16 institutions of the Ecuadorian state have met to implement a plan that includes police protection for the presidential candidates. Here's a report from our correspondent, Elena Rodriguez.
The National Electoral Council inaugurated the National Security Table in Quito on Wednesday. The objective is to draw up a roadmap to articulate measures to guarantee the normal development of the presidential and legislative elections and the popular consultation scheduled for August 20.
As the National Electoral Council, we are at the head of this table and we are taking up the challenge that implies interinstitutional coordination. However, this is not a solitary task, and we understand that the issue of insecurity in the country is not an easy one and cannot be taken lightly. Therefore, we condemn and categorically reject all acts of violence, wherever they come from.
The signing of cooperation agreements intended to prevent acts of violence. The aim to guarantee the maintenance of public order at all stages of the electoral process. The Minister of the Interior assured that the 8 presidential candidates would be protected by the police during the election campaign.
The police will not tolerate violent actions. If we have to act with firmness, we will do so. with respect for human rights. Yes, but with firmness, because it cannot be possible that people who want to create chaos in the country use this democratic process to create it.
On Tuesday evening, the political group Revolución Ciudadana denounced the detonation of an explosive device in a demonstration in the city of Huaquillas, in the southwestern province of El Oro.
We have no injuries, and immediately after the event, there was a police presence accompanying the event, and this is a strategy of the operations that are planned. Any event that has a certain level of risk is accompanied by the police.
Climate factors are also among the risks to be considered.
A simulation will be carried out together with the National Secretariat of Risk Management to identify the possible scenarios that could affect the electoral process due to the development of El Niño.
The election security table will be made up of more than 16 state institutions, 70 crisis rooms, and 14 operational rooms in the 24 presidential delegations will be activated during the process.
Elena Rodríguez, teleSUR Ecuador.
Let's take a very short break now, but remember you can now follow us on our TikTok account as teleSUR English, in which you will be able to see news in different formats, news updates and more. Stay tuned for more news. Welcome back to From the South. In France, more than 30 people were arrested during the days of protests in the municipalities of Nanren following the murder of a young man by a security officer. According to local media, the incident in the department of House du Seine resulted in 24 police officers with minor injuries and 40 cars set on fire. Government authorities detailed that a total of 2,000 police officers and 10 gendarmes were deployed in the locality. In addition, there were vandalic acts in the place, among which they reported the burning of garbage containers. The government of Lithuania said on Wednesday it has brought 2 Norwegian-made NASAMS air defense launchers for Ukraine and will deliver them within 3 months. The announcement came as Lithuanian President Gitanas Nausėda arrived in Kiev for talks with his Ukrainian counterpart Volodymyr Zelensky. Lithuanian Defense Minister said the deal with the Norwegian firm Kongsberg was worth 9.8 million euros, and that his government will also send 10 M113 armored transport vehicles to Ukraine along with munitions, which are set to be delivered later this year. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov spoke on Wednesday about the immunity attempt staged by the Wagner Group over the weekend and didn't rule out the possibility that the U.S. might have played a role in this event.
Statements have been made that the United States is not interfering in running regime change. Such a statement sounds somewhat artificial.
The top Russian diplomat also recalled that Washington's openly financed opposition organizations in his country.
Knowing how a few years ago American foundations and non-governmental organizations worked in our country, what they did, how they courted and trained the opposition in every possible way, there is no need to go into this topic in detail. This is an obvious slideness.
The Russian Minister of Foreign Affairs declared the irregular situation that a Wagner Group over and assured that events did not represent any change in the country's strategy with respect to the special operation in Ukraine.
President Putin has already answered over the past few days. He has repeatedly made detailed assessment of the current situation, emphasizing that having overcome the attempted mutiny, we have not sacrificed targets for a special military operation at all, and have not lost any positions on the battlefield.
On Wednesday, Russia is calling on responsible countries not to participate in the so-called global peace summit proposed by Kiev due to the provocative nature of this initiative. Russian Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova stated that they were urging countries that truly serve for peace not to participate in this enterprise. Zakharova stressed that anyone with any experience or knowledge realizes that, first of all, peace depends on ceasing bloodshed, and in this absence of this, no the roundtables, conference, or symposiums will achieve anything.
Without any doubt, Alexander Grigorjevich Lukashenko is an outstanding statesman, a skilled politician, a diplomat, a person capable of quickly solving many of the most difficult issues and non-trivial tasks. Unconditionally, he could make a significant contribution to the achievement of peace agreements if the Kiev regime wanted, but in fact doesn't want this. We call on the states that truly aspire to peace and all the more express desire and readiness to play a constructive role in the search for a political and diplomatic solution to the conflict not to participate in this affair. It is provocative. Your presence at the summit is necessary for the West only in order to create the appearance of broad support for its outcome, and just postpones the prospect of a peaceful settlement.
Russian Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova urged the government of Armenia and Azerbaijan to find a peaceful solution to the conflict over the control of Nagorno-Karabakh region. The Karabakh Defense Ministry blamed Armenian for the Azerbaijan's for opening artillery on Armenian positions. The clashes erupted a day after Washington initiated 3 days of talks between Armenian and Azerbaijani officials in the latest attempt to quell a conflict.
We are concerned over the increasingly frequent armed incidents and ceasefire violations in Nagorno-Karabakh. We call on the parties for restraint and for settling all the contentious issues by peaceful, political, diplomatic means in cooperation with the command of the Russian peacekeeping contingent. I will believe that the de-escalation of the situation would be facilitated by the speedy adoption of measures to fully unblock a Russian corridor and creating conditions for the normal life of the civilian population.
Spain's state meteorological agency announced on Tuesday a state of alert for the heat wave that affects several areas in the country since last Sunday. The agency declared the maximum alert level for the Canary Islands, Extremadura, and Andalusia, while 17 other autonomous communities are on orange alert. Authorities don't rule out that temperatures could reach 44 degrees centigrade in the most affected areas. We'll have a financial break, but before we invite you to visit our YouTube channel at teleSUR English, there you'll be able to watch our interviews, top stories, special broadcasts, and more. Hit the subscribe button and activate the notification bell to stay up to date on the world's most recent events. One financial break, don't go away. Welcome back. China and Vietnam expressed their interests in expanding their joint relations after the Economic and Trade Cooperation Forum held in Beijing. The meeting was attended by around 400 representatives from China and Vietnam, including Chinese Vice Premier Liu Guangxu and Vietnamese Premier Ma Ninh-Chit. According to the official Vietnamese data, during the first 6 months of the year, Chinese investment in the country increased to almost $2 billion. Liu Guangxu, for his part, points out that the industrial and supply chains of the Asian area and Vietnam have been interconnected and have achieved mutual cooperation in the fall of investment, obtaining remarkable results.
Through the joint efforts of people from all walks of life, economic and trade cooperation between China and Vietnam has kept deepening in recent years, achieving fruitful results. Bilateral trade has been developing vigorously. Even as the world economy faces severe challenges, trade between China and Vietnam has maintained a favorable development momentum. In the first 5 months of this year, the trade volume between China and Vietnam accounted for nearly 1/4 of China's overall trade with ASEAN. China is the largest trading partner of Vietnam, largest import market and second largest export market. Vietnam is China's largest trading partner in ASEAN.
I have met with representatives from Chinese enterprises to discuss how to create favorable conditions for Chinese enterprises in Vietnam. Through economic and trade cooperation, we hope to contribute to the good relationship between the two parties and two countries. So we propose establishing a working group to specifically promote economic and trade cooperation between the two countries, and we will work even more in the future to deepen cooperation and contribute to bilateral relations.
On Wednesday, China signed a cooperative arrangement with New Zealand during a visit by Premier Chris Hinkim's aim at improving market access for Western countries that has long maintained a conciliatory approach toward China. Both sides agreed in a joint declaration to strengthen trade and expand cooperation in areas such as e-commerce, green economy, and establish a dialogue mechanism and new energy vehicles. Additionally, they agreed on strengthening cooperation on food security and agriculture based on recent talks on areas including diplomatic and defense. New Zealand, like other Western countries, has historically taken a conciliatory approach to China, and last year it upgraded the free trade pact with the Asia. On Wednesday, Chinese Premier Li Qian met with Mongolian Premier in Beijing, pledging further efforts to deepen political mutual trust and mutually beneficial cooperation. The Chinese Premier said China is ready to offer the mutual support on issues related to the two countries' core interests and major concern. Li Qian also said that China is willing to deepen cooperation with Mongolia and welcome the Mongolian sides to share the new opportunities brought by China's development. In Myanmar, at least 3 civilians are reported dead in a village after an alleged bombing by the army. According to local media, a military plane dropped 3 bombs on Tuesday on a village of New Con in the north of the Saigon region. The action also left at least 8 wounded and 11 houses destroyed. According to testimonies, the country is turned by the violent conflict between the military junta and its opponents, what has been going on since the military coup in February 1, 2021. European Union observers have released a final report on Nigeria's recent elections, revealing significant problems that undermine public trust in the electoral process. The report emphasized the need for reforms to enhance transparency and accountability in future elections. President Bola Tinubu emerged as a winner in the dispute on February vote, which is currently being challenged in court by his main rivals. The European Union mission identified 6 priority areas for the improvement, including the clarifying electoral laws, ensuring real-time publications and access to results, and cracking down on electoral offenses. On Wednesday, Nigerian Muslims in Lagos celebrate Eid Al-Adha, one of the biggest feasts in the Islamic calendar. Faithfuls gather for morning prayers at a mosque or the silent prayers grounds, and then they decorate each other and enhance out of charity. One of the main traditions of Eid Al-Adha is to sacrifice an animal, usually a goat, sheep, cow, or camel. The purpose of this sacrifice is to remember biblical stories about the prophet Ibrahim's willingness to sacrifice his own son after receiving a command from God in a dream. The meat from the sacrifice is divided into 3 parts. 1/3 for the family, 1/3 for relatives and friends, and 1/3 for the less fortunate. Some businesses owners and livestock vendors point out that this year the Dog and Ram have been difficult, and they hope next year will be better.
And every year I used to get 2 ram and Kitu ram, but this year, in fact, we even afford to pay one now. I'm still going up and down. You can even see me. I go straight down, coming back down here, 150, 200. Come on, it's not easy for this year.
We usually buy the rams in CFA francs, and when we bring them to Nigeria, we sell them in Naira. But now the Naira currency has lost so much value that we buy everything with Chadian CFA.
It is not possible for you to compare this year with the previous year because normally there's an inflation in everything currently in Nigeria. So with that said, you should understand it won't be cheap. So sincerely, RAM is kind of like costly this year. So we pray maybe probably for next everything will be back to normal.
We have come to the end of this news brief, but you can find these and many other stories on our website at telesurenglish.net. You can also use us on our socials from Facebook, Twitter, and on Instagram as well. From TeleSUR English and from the South, I'm Ana Marrero. Thank you for watching.